I think when I was first learning how to meditate, two things were happening. One, I never really saw the point or got the idea, and two, I was dealing with years of ongoing stress, anxiety, and depression, and I was working at Starbucks. So all of that combined, definitely not an ideal sort of situation. And it was 2020, 2021 at the very beginning of everything shutting down. So all of that combined was just not good, as obviously. Um, but I was working at Starbucks through the pandemic. Uh, so it did come with one of my only jobs I've had that actually included benefits. And um, one of those benefits was that Starbucks had a pretty comprehensive therapy program that included a subscription to Headspace. Um, Headspace and Lyra, two of the things that I think changed my life for the better, for sure. So, as much as we don't like to say it, shout out Starbucks in that respect. Um, but it really kicked off my mental health journey. I think it was the first time I was really taking it seriously. And I don't really know how Headspace works now, but at the time that I was using it, the main form of meditation, the main meditation path, I guess I'll call it, worked in levels. So at the beginning, it was a 10-minute meditation, guided meditation with pretty nice voiceover. I just went with the standard Australian guy. And the narrator would guide you through these particular breathing exercises, giving you cues as to how to breathe, when to let your mind wander a bit, and when to bring it back in to quiet it. And it was simple enough, or straightforward enough, at least. At the very least, it got me into the idea of having uh, some sort of goal or something I was trying to achieve. I think they were emphasizing uh, learning how to quiet the mind, which is um, like with the sort of anxiety I have, and just the always on go nature of capitalism, even in the time where things were literally shut down. It was just exactly what I was seeking and what I needed at that time in the moment, or so I thought. I did Headspace for a while. I got up to the point where the guide would only occasionally pop in. It was, I think I was able to stretch it to 15, maybe 20 minutes. And for the most part, it was just popping in just to make sure you were still there on track. Um, but the goal at that time was to identify and label your thoughts, thinking, and then to label the thought itself as either positive or negative, which I think was an attempt to track your progress, like I'm assuming over time you're supposed to see that you have more positive thoughts than negative, but I think more positive thoughts than negative, but the main idea was to just quiet the mind at the end of the day. Or in this case, by the end of the meditation, you're supposed to just be at a point of stillness and calmness. Um, but I don't really think that that's how my brain works. Like, it doesn't just shut off like that. It'll never just shut off like that. Even with all the mindset shifts I'm able to make, anxiety for me seems to always shift into a new character, or when I feel like I've shoved it out of one crevice, of one corner, it likes to latch on to another part that I haven't quite been able to get to and really sit with yet. And it just hangs on for dear life, and it even stronger. It's just clinging for anything. Um, so in essence, uh, back to Headspace. In essence, along with having this growing grocery list checklist of just things to do and think about while you're trying not to think. Uh, I think a part of me just didn't think that suppressing thoughts and energies was particularly helpful. But again, for the time, I think Headspace was really uh, what I needed, at least as an introduction. Since that time, I really haven't been as proactive in my mental health journey. I definitely think I started to fall off a little bit once things started opening back up, once we started getting into our new normal, which was just the repeat of the old normal, but hyper capitalistic. But that's a conversation for another day. Um, but I just kind of adapted to everything, the reintegration of society and all, and uh, just a bit of those practices started to fall to the wayside. And um, maybe a part of that too is just the cyclical nature of things, especially when it comes to starting something new as a uh, mental health journey, like actively participating in having a better relationship with your mental health. Um, uh, but it could also just be but unfortunately, anxiety isn't so cyclical. Or if it is, it's a lot faster of a cycle. So even as I take a break or fall off, um, the anxiety definitely doesn't. So we can fast forward a little bit to this past June, where I decided to move to South America, and I came in search of a few things, but a sense of mental clarity was definitely high up on that list. And uh, my partner has introduced me to a variety of guides and methods of meditation, but even with that, I think the original question still resurfaced, like the why behind it all. Like, what is the ultimate goal of meditating, really? Because what was laid out in Headspace isn't exactly what like works for me. Like quieting the mind, that doesn't really resonate with where I am and who I am, and again how my mind works. So I'm asking questions like, am I doing it right? What is the right way to do it? There's just like a whole lot of questions behind it. But what I've come to in the last few days, especially so, is that there is no right way. There is no goal. The main idea it's the main idea is to better is to just have a better relationship with your thoughts. It's if I had to define a goal, it's to have a better relationship with your thoughts and to just listen to yourself. There is no one right way to meditate. There is no one right goal. I think even from my understanding from the conversations I've had with my partner and the years of experience, the over 15 years of experience she's had in meditating in various ways and practices, it's that there are different meditations for different situations, for different needs. And again, there is no one right way to do it. As long as you are progressing in that relationship with your mental and spiritual being, I think that is the ultimate goal above all else. Um, and she also emphasized to listen to yourself, but to really listen to yourself without judgment, which is the total opposite, I think, of what Headspace had presented to me originally when it came to labeling positive and negative thoughts. That didn't even sit with me, didn't sit quite right with me at the time even, but I'm just going with it. But in the back of my mind, it just in my gut, it didn't really feel like that was right or the direction I wanted to go. Um, so just noticing what it is you're feeling and thinking, listening to yourself, trying not to use a mental checklist uh, is what I've been trying to get to, unprogram some of that and to feel more. I do still check in with myself. Let me back up a little bit. This is me now explaining how like I would like to proceed in meditating moving forward, as I feel like I've only really done a couple of intentional meditations this way, but I think this is the how I see it now. This is the direction I would like to go in now. Is removing the mental checklist and instead just checking in with myself occasionally. I think for the most part, I like to let my mind wander and just observe the thoughts that are coming through. I wrote down, I kind of have been envisioning myself in, that white space from that Squidward was in that one episode of SpongeBob where there were time where he was time traveling, the Krusty Krab freezer, or just like the white room from the Matrix, just like a plain blank space to sit in and just observe and feel the thoughts. And then when a thought comes by and comes through clearly, my mind starts to go there, I just stop and I say, it's interesting. And I let this kind of process go on as they kind of come and go, the rise and fall of whatever's coming through my mind. And then I stop and I take a breath in through your nose and out through your mouth, and being very intentional about that too, because there's a lot of tension I hold in my face, at least. So I just try to be as open and free and honest about what I'm feeling. But then I scan the body. That is one thing that I did really like a lot in the Headspace guide, is that they wanted you to scan the body. I still do that even when I'm not meditating to this day. Just feeling where the tension lies specifically and just making mental note and releasing as best as I can. Um, so, uh, yeah, if I am letting the thoughts roam and I ever start to feel kind of lost, let this truck pass real quick. If I'm ever in my head letting the thoughts roam and I start to feel kind of lost, I just bring it back. I know that's the time to stop, breathe, check in with my body, check in with myself, just reconnect, do what just feels the most natural and healthy. So I can have a natural and healthy transfer between the two, the mind and the body. And then maybe like once it's all finished, it's a good time to journal about it afterwards, like what I was able to do today. Um, yeah, so just a few thoughts about meditating and my meditation journey so far, how I've come to understand and learn meditating. I've created, I think, after years and years of trying, my first what works for me in terms of meditation music, background music. Sometimes it's better to meditate in silence. Sometimes it's better to meditate with a guide. But if you also are looking to, use just, as a background track for your meditation. I've linked a free one below. Maybe it'll be a link, downloadable link. Maybe it'll be a YouTube video. I'm not sure I'm going to do that yet. But if you would like to check it out, um, see if there's anything, and if there's any way it could help you on your meditative journey, definitely check that out below. And yeah, I'll catch you on the next one.